Hello everybody, hello lovely gang, karibu tena to my YouTube channel. My name is Kisha Nyambura. If you haven't seen the title, today we'll be discussing beliefs that no longer serve your little big sister, yo. So tune in, get comfy, as usual, grab a snack and let's get into it. Hi, another week's video. Consistency, hello. I'm so proud of myself, and recently I've been reading James Clear's book. And I look so pretty. A moment for the hairstyle, for the chiffon top, and for this cute kanga, which in English is a necklace. Yeah, that is my sister's, but don't tell her. Anyway, thank you so much for choosing to stay, for choosing to watch till this far. I know it's not like so many minutes in, but I'm really appreciative, and I know that this will be worth your while. It will be worth your time, worth your watching. And by the end of this video, you'll be like, I need to send this to my friends and family. Amaniachi. Yes, subscribe if you haven't already. Woo! It supports my channel so much. So as you have already seen, we're talking about beliefs that no longer serve us, and I was saying that recently I've been reading James Clear's book, the great famous one, the one that has made him household name, for according to me, The Power of Atomic Habits. It's an ebook that was sent to me by my amazing cousin Maureen. Shout out to her. So I've been really trying to, like, I want this year to be different, and I know that people say this is my year, but for me, this is my year of crazy faith. Shout out to TC Nation and Pastor Michael Todd, who's one of my pastors, virtually, lol. So I've really been trying to look for ways and motivation and materials that can help me in my goals achievement process. But all the information that I have on goal setting and goal making and achievements and all these resolutions that we write at the beginning of the year, when we have this hype and we have this euphoria about the future and we're so excited, and we overdo things and we overlook the power of small things and small habits contributing to change. Like every day we are doing micro-evolutionary things that change our self-image. And he was saying that we do the goal setting process wrong, and usually we do not make it by the end of the year, and we usually just recycle the lists that we've had for the last 4 years, because those goals go against our identity and our self-image, things that we have done repeatedly that have formed habits about who we are as people, like who I am as Kisha Nyambura. Like, I remember a certain video, who are you, certain video that I did a while back, but I deleted, imposter syndrome. But I was talking about unpopular beliefs, and I was saying the way the world is so wired to believe that waking up in the morning is so glorious, and it's like marketed to be this thing that it isn't. But looking back, I just cringed at that opinion, and I was like, that was my self-identity. And no wonder every time back then I tried to wake up early, I couldn't maintain that for a long time for it to be a habit and then later a lifestyle. Because I was always saying I'm a night owl, I do better at night, which is true, and usually have bouts of time in your day when things just work out for you because of who you are uniquely as a person, because of how your mind is wired, and because of that's just how God created you. That some people are better in the morning, some people are more productive in the afternoon, in the evening. And I was watching a TikTok, and can we call her a productivity coach? And she was talking about how we should use the hours of our day that are best suited for us to yield the best results to our advantage. Like, there are different times of your day that are good for you uniquely to do certain things, for communication, for hard work, like that requires deep thinking, and for manual labor, like different types of work that require different parts of your day because of who you are, so that you can yield the best results. Like for me, when I did that test of hers, I'm a wolf, so I do better at night, but not like late night like at 1, but like up like 11. And she was saying the way morning hours, like from 7 to like 9 are best for certain types of work, for like deep work for me. And I was really shook at that revelation, because I've always been singing from high school to like a few years ago that that I'm not a morning person, that I will never do anything constructive in the morning. But if I sleep just at the right time, not too early and not too late, after I've done the work that is meant for me to do at those hours of the night, and then I wake up by like not too early, not like 5 a.m. or anything too early, or anything too serious, or anything too like military, get up at 4 a.m. and get your day going early. No, but just chill early morning, like 7 a.m. And then by like 8, relaxed and prepared for the day, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, like I will have the best results. So this year, wanting it to be a transformative year, and for it to be a crazy year, faith is dead without actions. So I've been really trying to change my perspective, and I know that this book has done wonders, especially for like a YouTuber I watch. She's called KTU. She's a Korean American young student at Brown University. This is her final semester, and I've been watching her for a while. I think from 2020, actually, from when she started her YouTube channel, which she did. It was about like college life. It's a lifestyle channel, but it's also about fashion, which is why I was drawn to her. Actually, one of the first videos I saw on her channel was about fashion. It was a lookbook on like different majors and how they'd appear. So like how an English major will dress, how a computer science major will dress, how a psychologist will dress, how a teacher will dress. And I thought that it was an interesting way to like show out different looks. So I got hooked, and I liked her as a person and her personality. And recently, like in 2021, she was on a journey after her breakup, and any breakups, they just set the tone for you to become a better person. I don't know, but I think certain life events, when they happen, they make you rethink your life and how it's going. So you tend to do all these things to like get your house in order. So for Katie, after her breakup, she started reading books. She started going to therapy, which was actually suggested by her ex-boyfriend. She started traveling and just doing intentional friendship dates, which I actually have on my vision board this year. So all of my friends, just slot me in your calendar somewhere for us to go out and catch up. But yeah, she was also reading Atomic Habits, and that's where I found out how great of this book. Hey, where's my English today? Yani hapo ndo nilijua how good of a book The Power of Atomic Habits is, and I got interested, and I was like, if I find this book in bookshop, it will be like really expensive. So like I put it in my short strong long termish goals to buy it. And I just saw another Instagram person I follow, who's an acquaintance, I'll say, and she was also reading it. And also saw, what's this, Nancy Mwai, is she called Nancy Mwai? Nancy Mwai, CEO wa gosh, KICC. But she was also reading it, and she was like marveling at how mind blowing and transformative it is. And when you read it, you don't feel like you're reading a normal motivational book. Because for me, I usually can't read motivational books as in naboeka na choka. It's usually, it just seems like toxic positivity to me, and I'm just like, this ain't practical, boy, this ain't practical, girl. Like, can we talk real facts? And I like books that are practical. Like for me, on my first YouTube video, oh, look at me rambling and going off topic, but bear with me for a minute. This is why you love me, because I just talk my mind and we get to just spy each other. You know, iron sharpens iron, and in this rants, I get to just figure out where I am, and I just get to organize my mind space in front of a bunch of you. So bear with me. We'll talk about the topic in a few. So when I saw all these people and how transformative the book was to them, I was like, is this what I need to like transform a year, and to transform my life, and to actually realize the goals that I have written in my journal, and that I have written in the 300 things that I would like to happen for me in a year, because I tried that last year, but I didn't follow it through. So I wanted to follow it through this year, and I even have a video on it. It will be up here, on how Steve Harvey, I know you all know Steve Harvey. He's a popular actor and he's a TV show host, and he's a business person, I think, but he's very successful and he's rich, baby. And he's also a Christian based on how he talks. And he was just talking about the power of writing down your goals and the power of declaring whatever you want for your life. And the number 300 is significant because those are a lot of things to write that you want to happen in your life in a year. Because honestly, mimi niko stuck at number 100 and something, and I've really tried. Last time I was stuck at number 70 something. So that is growth, baby. Like, I feel like my mind has opened up, and I have not just written material things, and I just realize what more I need for my life, for it to go into the trajectory that I need it to be as a young adult, and even just having my future in focus. So, like, writing all those 300 things down because of Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 2. Let me even read it. But anyway, it says that write it down so that you can have a glance over what I have for you, so that you can have somewhere you can refer to, so that you can have like a reminder, so that you can have like a guideline, like so that you can have something to refocus you when you lose focus, when things are going paragasha and you're feeling lost. So Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 2 is like the significant verse and the theme and the manifesto, can I call it that, behind Steve Harvey's 300 list. Like, he says that we undermine how much change can happen in a year, but also in our goals. Now, this is James Clear talking about this in his book of Power of Atomic Habits. Like, anasema, we undermine the change that can happen in 5 years. Actually, that is what he said. Scratch that part. We undermine what can happen in 5 years if we are consistent with what we want for our lives, and we overestimate whatever we can do in a year, because like we demand so much of ourselves in a year, and these goals are not set for the right reasons. They may have the right motives, but like they are not achieved at the end of the day because they go against your self identity. Your habits build your identity, and your identity build your habits. It's called a feedback loop. Ooh, who's a good student? I'm in the 3rd chapter of the book, and though I've not been reading it consistently, but I've been trying, and I've really been improving and working on my reading culture. I started reading it in like early Feb. So this is progress for me, and I'm very happy about it. And I am happy that I get to share these gems with you, so that you can say that I really do put a meaning in your life, that these few minutes that you spend watching me every week or every other week, or when you come back to them, or when you share with friends and you have a discussion about the thing that you talk about, that it actually makes a difference. So this feedback loop is the reason why utaacha kwenda gym, utakula junk food, you won't believe in yourself, that you won't be consistent in the thing that you know you are good, that you are good in, and that you know if you only were consistent, not me talking to myself, if you only were consistent, you'd be great and you'd be so much far ahead than you are right now. But every time you do a habit, you cast a vote for that person. Like, every time you smoke, you cast a vote in your identity as a smoker. Every time you write a page, you cast a vote as a writer. Every time you wake up early, you cast a vote as someone who wakes up early. Every time you make your bed, you cast a vote as an organized person. So you've been waking up, okay, let me use my example. You've been waking up late for a long time. So I've been casting a vote as someone who can't wake up early. And now when I set a resolution that I want to wake up by 6 a.m. every day, it's hard because I've built this identity through the habits of years of someone who wakes up late. So I've built that identity, and I've built that self-image that I'm not someone who wakes up early. I'm not someone who can wake up early. So after a week, I go back to something that I recognize as myself, which is someone who wakes up late. You see, so for true change to happen, there must be identity change. And he was saying that we shouldn't be too attached to a certain version of ourselves, because life is about learning and unlearning and relearning, specifically about unlearning, because you will get to be different versions of yourself at different times of life, because life requires different things of you each time, and it throws things at you, and seasons change and a new you is required. So basically, I've been reading this book and just trying to make sure that I do all I can to achieve my goals, and with God's help, as this year being my year of crazy faith, I challenge you to just open up your mind and to widen your horizon and to read that book. This is not an endorsement, this is not a sponsorship, it's not an ad, but it's just something that I felt deeply in my heart I should share. And I've talked about it for 15 minutes. Oh my God. So I'm gonna read quickly the beliefs that no longer serve me. This was inspired by one of my favorite channels, Over 25. Shout out to Julia, Shiki, Lons, and Ivy. And they're not even many, they are one, two, there are 5 things, and I believe they are great things. And I believe future me is already so proud of me, because I'm already proud of me, that I've overcome and that I am overcoming, constantly making the decision to overcome these beliefs and to build new habits by working on my identity. Who do I want to become? And believing in myself that I can do it. That each time I do a goal that I have set for myself this year, I am casting a vote for the person I want to become. You get me? Yeah, like, and he gave this example of someone saying that of two people who want to quit smoking. So unapewa fegi hapo uko like, hey, msee shika. Okay, msee watu wa fegi wanaongeangaje, but anyway, fegi ni sigara. So like 2 people who are working on quitting on smoking, and then one of them says, no, I'm not a smoker. You see, huyo ana declare his new identity, I am not a smoker. Then the other person anasema, no, I don't smoke, I'm trying to quit smoking. Do you see the difference? Do you feel me? Be the first person. So beliefs that no longer serve me. Number 1, you only have one person in the world meant for you romantically. I remember after my breakup in 2019, I was so distraught, because I was like, this is my soulmate, man. Where will I find another one like this one? But baby, God came through. God always comes through. And I used to believe like there's only this one person meant for you. But what happens when your spouse dies, and after a few years, be it 5 years, you've healed, and you feel this gap because you are used to the marriage and to the companionship, and you just feel lonely, and you want that void to be filled in your heart. Not to say that you're incomplete without a partner, but you just want that space that a romantic relationship feels. And you say that you want to be back in the dating game, and you find another person who adores you and you fall in love. That doesn't mean that that person was not meant for you. If it's okay and it's good for you, it's in God's will for you to have love, because God is love. And that doesn't mean that huyu tu ni backup and that spouse who died was the only one for you. Or even just in relationships, like I believe that there are so many people out there who can love you genuinely and immensely how you're supposed to be treated in a relationship. But thinking that when you break up with someone, that's the end of the world, it's not something that we as Lovely Gang do. You feel me? Yes, so there are many people, even if you're in a toxic relationship, just know that there are better people out there. Even with this Nairobi saga, there are good people out there. You feel me? Yes. A belief that no longer serves me, or a habit that no longer serves me, is overthinking. I was never an overthinker, but quarantine messed with my head. That was one of the toughest years of my life. Actually, that is the toughest year of my life. Like, I was going through a heartbreak, I was depressed, I couldn't go out, and the extrovert in me was dying and was feeling like, this is the end of the world, and it was just so much, and I couldn't go to church, and I was just having the wildest sleep schedules, and I was just not living and and I think that's where my overthinking started, but it also heightened in a new relationship because I had a fear of commitment because of my last heartbreak. But now we are healthy, and guess who has a secure attachment, y'all? but it took time, it took work, it took reassurance, it took prayer, it took relying on a friend to tell me and to pull me out of that hole and tell me that I am more than that and that I can be able to overcome. And I think for me, affirmations work, and reading the Bible and telling God how I feel, and just asking Him to change my thought process. Although it was not easy, I had to nip the nip the bud in my mind when that thought struck, so that isiendelee kuform a chain of negative thoughts. Yeah. Here we are real. You feel me? If you're new here, this is a community that is behind mental health and practicing self-care and not stigmatizing mental illness, not stigmatizing therapy, being real with our emotions, having growth, having accountability, and moving towards great things. But also once in a while we have story time. So Dako, you feel me? We gotta have the tea. The third thing about the third belief that no longer serves me, is that therapy, just as I was saying, is for seriously ill people or people who have had very traumatic experiences. You don't go to the doctor when you're very sick, at a homa, ama UTI. Okay, a UTI is serious. Sore throat, tonsils, skin rash that you cannot understand, because uh, as someone who's watched Grey's Anatomy for 15 seasons, I know that a skin rash can be cancer. So don't belittle the small things in your life. It is a wellness check. It is worth your money, though some therapists can be very expensive, but it's also a very exhaustive job, and it is a job that requires you to give a lot of yourself. So in a way it is justified, but I just stripped myself of that mentality that therapy is for mad people, is for people with schizophrenia, people with very serious depression, people who've had accidents, people who've lost loved ones. It's even for people who've had many inconveniences and many tragedies, and who just feel like they need someone to talk to outside of their circles, who will offer them sound, real, professional feedback that will help them to change their life and to just give them a better experience of their relationships. you know yeah, because you become self-aware, you become aware of like toxicity and narcissism and victim mentality and gaslighting and all these things. So if you are aware, you demand better for yourself, therefore you have a better experience in your relationships, be it friendships, be it with working out, family feuds, be it in the workplace. And I really just can't wait to start creating work content when I start working and just navigating through the marketplace. If you're working, tell me some of the myths that have been busted by you joining the workplace, even as an intern. And okay, these interns, we have to be paid. Like kupewa tu mandazi na coffee. What is that? We refuse that. We refuse that in 2022. Like I believe like that investment in learning and that effort should be rewarded even with some kidogo money, because Nairobi is hard, especially with food prices being up right now. Like living in Kenya is not easy. And I'm saying that, and I'm not even running my own household. Now I imagine people who are standing on their own 2 feet, fending for their families, looking for school fees and just funding hospital insurance. Like it's a lot. The fourth belief that no longer serves me is that I have to maintain the same set of friends for life. Like friends change, seasons change, and I remember my dad always telling me, I think from primary school, which was the first major transition in my life, that for some people in primary school, you'll never meet them, you'll never see them again. Some of them you lose touch, some of them the connection will dwindle, and it's okay as long as you have your family set. And even family represents the family that you have chosen for yourself, the support system that you have chosen for yourself, people who will always be there for you. And sometimes also this changes, but someone in that season of life who will be by your back, that is enough. Like the strength of a connection is more important than the time you've known them, because unaweza kuwa umejua mtu for long but they've not really added so much value and you do not feel such a deep connection and trust with them as compared to someone who came into your life recently. So it's okay to lose friends. It doesn't mean that we have bad blood. We'll still say hi, we'll still talk when we can. I'll still like buy from your business or whatever, and I wish you the best. But maybe our mindsets have changed, how our core values, our core systems, therefore you can't really have that connection, or you can't really be in my inner circle anymore. Maybe you become a friend and you are a close friend, or maybe you are a close friend and now you become an acquaintance. You feel me? Like it's okay. And that is something that that young adulting as a 20-year-old, soon to be 21, has experienced. Like this is a season where like you lose a lot of people, and it's okay as long as you're grounded with your family, with those few people who like really know who you are and who are there by you. Because as much as you're losing friends, I'm sure kuna those few, maybe two, one, three, five, that are true to you and that you're sure you'll move with them to the next season of your life, you know? Yes. And the last belief that no longer serves me is yoga. This is very sad for me to admit. And I've found myself missing yoga sessions because they're so calming recently. I found myself missing yoga recently, and this belief is that yoga is not spiritual. Debunked. I discovered last year, late last year, that yoga is spiritual. Maybe I was just in denial, and I remember a phone call we had mid last year with my boyfriend extensively about how yoga is wrong, and I was just there defending yoga. There's yoga and there's stretching. Stretching is physical and yoga is spiritual. And there was a time I was working out with my cousin, and we usually used to have yoga after working out so that we can relax, so that we can stretch and all that, because yoga has the stretching part and the spiritual calming part, the affirmations part, the part where the yoga instructor just tells you to breathe in and let that energy work. And there was this statement I had when you are in a position, I've forgotten the name of that position, but near kulala flat on the yoga mat, and you're relaxing and you're breathing in and out, and you're using the breath work to like soothe your nerves and to relax your muscles after a tense workout. So tu kuna kitu tu fulani alisema sijui energy what, and I was like, hold up, what you saying? Is this witchcraft? And I was just like, I was closing my eyes because of the amount of relaxation, and maybe that's what I miss about it, and I'm sure I can find a substitute. But in that moment of relaxation, she said those words, and I opened my eyes like, what did you just say? This is the end of yoga for me, and that was it. And I'm happy that as a Christian I've evolved from that, because I didn't understand like why people were so against yoga, and I was just like, these people are just hating, they're just being conservative. But like now I realize the truth in it. You might be inviting some certain spirits or energy into your life without knowing, and that is what may be hindering you or doing some harm. It may not be like harm, but like giving something else that is not of God a higher control over your life over God. You get me? Like in this day and age, there's a lot of new age spirituality, like manifesting and use of crystals and sages and all these things, and angel numbers and numerology and astrology. Like people have a sense of godliness, but they do not like act it out, and I believe that is what is there, because people will say manifest and pray. That is like saying God and devil in the same sentence. Not to say that manifestation is of the devil, but it sort of kind of is, because the devil is the prince of the world and he's the ruler of this world, because you know we are of this world. We are in this world, but we are not of this world, and he's very tactical and tricky, making you think that you can have your way and not be under God's will and not pray to God to get your things. You can manifest and get your things. So why do I need God? And I'm not doing anything harmful. I'm just manifesting and praying to the universe. God created the universe, but the universe does not have that power. That is darkly power of the devil, because as the ruler of this world, he can manipulate the universe. He can manifest and give you those things that you want, so that you can keep manifesting and keep being brainwashed and just uachilie vitu za Mungu, you get. Yeah, so I just pray for our eyes to be opened. I pray for new perspective. I pray for growth. I pray for consistency. And I just hope that we'll have testimonials in the comment section and even on my DM. My Instagram is Kisha Nyambura. you can reach me there, of just how this year has been very eye-opening for you and just changing the trajectory of your life. That useme 2022 was that year that changed my life, because my eyes were opened, just like Gehazi's eyes were opened when Elisha and him were being attacked by some soldiers sent by a certain king they had beef with. But Elisha was calm. He was calm. He was chill, bro. Gehazi was like, "What's wrong with this, bro? Like, he don't see kuna masoja huko nje and we're about to be." But his spiritual eyes were open and he saw the thousands and thousands of angel armies that were surrounding them. So I'm sorry if you're not religious or spiritual and this was like a turn around and you were like, "Oh, sis, hold up, what you saying? I didn't come to church." But I just felt in my spirit like I should talk about that, and I hope this has helped some of you. So please share with your friends and your family. Thank you for watching till this far. I know this video is very long, but yeah, I've loved making it. Bye. See you on my next video.